Hello Virgo, and happy birthday to all of you who have it in September. Happy belated birthday to the August birthday. So let's jump in. You know, it's a new time. It's a YouTube term of 10 minutes or less. So let me just squeeze in as much as I can. So let's see, Virgo, what we are going to have this month. Pay attention to September 17th when you have new moon in Virgo. So for all of us, organizational wishes and something that we want to fall in place, that date is going to be important. For you even more so, this is your moon. This is like your moon to shine. Your opposite sign, Pisces, is going to have full moon on the 2nd. So that can cause disturbances, can cause emotional outbursts, can cause emotional release. So expect the unexpected. And frankly, I really wouldn't advise kind of like watching overly emotional movie on that day, because it just could be a little bit too much to handle. So let's start, my dear Virgo. On the bottom of the deck, you have Earth Tome reversed. It is one of those cards that belongs to Earth suit, so which is basically your element, but it is reversed. Something that maybe has been worked on is slowing down or is getting disjointed, or there are really issues because it is reversed. I also actually, even though it is in the earth suit, I see this very much down to earth, very kind of grounded. It could be also, to me, suggesting sign of Aquarius. To me, this is the ultimate friendship. This is also ultimate caring for somebody, kind of like maintenance of some sort. It worries me a little bit that it looks like something is disrupting your peace. Something is, that was probably the first one. Something is disrupting some kind of like motion, something that you have been counting on. So we are starting also, like, which is similar. Both of them are motion and both of them are interrupted of some sort. So maybe here is like, a little bit glitch in the process, but this is definitely going right into the ditch. When we have the Chariot reversed, I don't know if you're dealing with Cancer. You also may be dealing with kind of like some issues that really needed to go forward. Maybe there is a travel that is being delayed. It could be as literal as that. Really, the Chariot can really talk about all things travel, but it can also talk about spiritual, let's say, walls, spiritual boundaries of some sort, right? And this is crossed with Fire Tome. So now we have two toms, or knights, if you wish. As you can see, he is trying to wiggle his way of getting somewhere. I'm wondering if you guys have somebody here who maybe doesn't have, let's say, the best intentions. It's not that they are malicious. I'm not picking that one up, but I'm picking that somebody is just about themselves. It's me, me, me. Fire Tome tends to kind of like talk about one night stand very much more so than Earth Tome. Earth Tome is kind of like a glitch in the process, glitch in the matrix. We know that you're a highly organizing sign. We know that you kind of like really want to kind of like have all the system and strategy and process, and then you just go ton, 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 step by step by step by step, and it really works. It works for everybody, but it works more for you because you have tenacity to continue down that path and to continue kind of like working on it, right? But let me see the base of it, and you have 4 of Fire. Now, this is not a bad card even when it's reversed. 4 of Fire is really talking about next step. It's like, what is the next step? Where do you go from? So I can see here that you're like really greatly focused on something, but you maybe don't have cooperation of the other people in around you, or maybe some agreements that you have made are interrupted. Maybe people are telling you the commitment to it, you're counting on it, but they're going to pull the rug in the last moment. It's going to be really interesting about that. We also have Mars in retrograde, which is starting actually September 9th, and that can also fall something with it. Just remember that your birthday extends until September 21st this year. September 22nd, it's fall equinox, and that's when you're going into Libra's birthdays. Well, there is the past. Maybe some of you started a relationship, and congratulations if you did. Pandemic dating is really, really tough. So 8 of fire is like that zoomies. Look at that. It's kitty, kitty, kitty is doing the stuff, and this is kind of like a lots of motion. There are lots of messages, there are lots of communication, and that can be connecting to this fire Tom. And fire Tom is always like a person who is like very exciting. You really like spending time with this person. This person will, quote unquote, and I'm saying quote unquote, air quotes, fall in love with you right away. They're going to paint this beautiful picture of where the two of you are going to waltz into the sunset. But then they vanish. Then you wonder about you, then you wonder about your self-esteem, then you wonder about men or women or whoever this person was. That's the problem. And I can see something that started that just is sliding right sideways over here. What is above you is Ace of Sea, and good on you guys. You still have this commitment to something. So it could be that you're just saying to yourself, next. Could be that. I mean, you might have two people around you, or you might be, this also can indicate somebody who had maybe, with whom you had a long-term relationship. Or it could indicate also that on some level you also knew that this kind of like wasn't really doable of some sort, right? So let's see what is kind of like imminent. So then you have another 4. We have a 4 here, we have a 4, we have 8. It's kind of like 8 is almost like a double decker versus this is like the main floor. But look at his kitty. Look at his face. Just kind of like buzz off, leave me alone. It is earth, it is your element. But look at how many toys he has. He's not playing with any of his little fishies, any of his little kind of like liquor toys, and he's kind of like a little bit peeved, if you wish. So this could be you. Maybe you're saying, oh, whatever. Kind of like wouldn't blame you. Somebody here really pulled a fast one on you, and I wouldn't even say they did it, as I said, they did it purposely. Just like the person is like that. You have these people who are just butterflies, and they just keep going on and on and on, and that's kind of like modern day Casanova. This card is clearly suggesting that you need to engage. There is like need to re-engage, play, don't pull into yourself kind of a thing. You have another tome. You have a sky tome. The only one tome that is missing right now is Knight of Cups. So this is like Knight of Swords. And I like that this is falling in your own house. That means over here that you're like so sharp. You are focused on your goal. You're going to get this freaking birdie no matter what. Look at these clouds. Not paying attention. Maybe you also have to have a strategy for soft place to fall, not to kind of like splatter yourself. But generally, I really like Sky Tome. Of course, I'm air element, but Sky Tome to me is like when I really want something. When I'm looking for a job, I like to kind of like see this card. When I am creating, let's say, online profile, I want to see this card. When I'm engaging in the new processes, I want to see this card. It is expansion, it is opening, but you're kind of like also a sort of a predator, where you not necessarily that you're going to squish somebody, even though this poor birdie, I don't want to wish to be this birdie, but what is really about this, that you're like so on target, that you kind of like really showing everything aside, and that's the zone. That's kind of like being in the zone. It is important. This is your environment, and you're getting Death card, and it's also reversed. Isn't this card sad? Look at all lives have left. Nothing is left. And when it's reversed, it's really talking about bitterness and sadness that exists as a result. But this is in your environment, so this is not you. There's like somebody who is experiencing something tumultuous or painful, something that they cannot get over. Maybe they're blaming you about that. Maybe there is like certain kind of like underlying layer over here that you have something unspoken with somebody, that something still needs to be expressed and worked on. And then we have 5 of Sea. this could mean it's reversed. It really talks about some kind of embarrassment. It talks about trying to get something and kind of like ending up in a pond all wet instead of like getting the fish out, right? But this card, because it's falling in your hopes and fears, can also mean that you really, really don't want to be in a situation where you were, and I cannot blame you with kind of like what I see. But this card also can mean with your hopes are you're selling yourself too short. I really want you to kind of like look on a bright side. I also feel that you really want somebody to come back, that there is like some element of the issues in the past. Because look, this card is mirroring this one, and together they add to 13, which is really talking about this environment. It was something exciting and something that maybe kind of like ends sour. So be careful, be kind of like really cautious this month. It's going to take lots of twists and turns to get somewhere. But then you have like Fire Queen. It's reversed. I'm wondering if this is you. Fire Queen to me is a dating queen. It is, I mean, we had a Fire Tom, and Fire Queen is maybe somebody who is matching that energy. It's saying, oh, well, you know, want to come in and out of my life, or you want to call me at 2 o'clock in the morning because you just really want to see my eyes. Really? Sure. Guess what? I get to play you too. That's what the Queen reversed is. Now, like, this is really interesting to me because you clearly know what you want, and this is great. Like, I mean, these two cards are giving me lots of hope in kind of like the process in this month, right? You might feel that you really want to pull things back, but also keep in mind that on September 6th, we are exiting Venus in Cancer, where kind of like it felt comfortable and nurturing and blah, blah, blah. And now it's entering Leo, and that's the shift in how we perceive relationships. Leo is like generosity, but it has to be big. It's not really nurturing. It's more like doing, and I kind of like seeing this here. Now I really want to actually pull 2 more cards to seal the reading. I'm over my time. And one is religious factors. To me, and I don't necessarily read this Disney text, your love life is influenced by your religious upbringing and spiritual path. Let me translate to you. This could be marriage. Maybe you want marriage, or you are maybe with somebody who is otherwise committed. So that is really important to note. Also, maybe that you really don't want to violate your moral attitudes because of someone. So I just want to get really, really quick look over here in this Death reversed and this 5 of Cups reversed, and see what is this all about. What kind of like other information I can get about that. And I got here Enemy reversed, a Cheerfulness reversed, and Waiting reversed. As I said, this card can actually also mean somebody's coming back, or you want somebody back, right? But again, it could be that there is like somebody who is not telling entire truths, because look at him, he's sneaking here behind a tree, and kind of like maybe could be clandestine affair of some sort. 2 women, 1 man, it could talk about like, I mean, there is some kind of arrangement, or there are like different things, you know, at play. Waiting card to me in the original Vera Sibilla deck talks about, you would see her with monoscope, like what do you call it, monocular, right? But it's kind of like turned toward her, it's turned the wrong way, meaning that you really need to examine yourself to really see what you want, right? Don't perceive if there is a third party situation here, and this card can indicate, and clearly these 2 cards are telling about it, not to mention lots of other things that are popping up over here. You're cautious. If you know about that, I would be 10 times as cautious, because you're setting yourself up. And just like being bitchy and kind of like turning things around, I can do this if you do this, it's tit for tat. How are you winning? How are you getting forward? So you really need to ask yourself, are you better than this? And what is that you really want? When you get clarity of what you want, I think you're going to be starting to move toward things that you really need to get in your life, that are going to have maybe emotional seed, maybe meeting somebody, but cultivating them properly. So my dear Virgo, one more time, I wish you happy birthday. I kind of wish you all the best. Guys, if you haven't been subscribed so far, please click on that subscribe button. You can also go on my website, cattarot.ca, and subscribe yourself to my mailing list, because sometimes I send you additional things during month. And yep, sorry, just like doing very rarely, maybe once every 2 months, but I still do. And lastly, the same thing, cattarot.ca, if you want to get a reading with me. And until the next time, I love you and I wish you all the best.